Fitheads. Today we talk with Jaime B. Haas. She has a method, a process to get over your trauma, get out of your own way, and really figure out and achieve what you want in life. This one was great. I had a very fun time, which I expected just to be, very skeptical, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think typically naturally a skeptical guy. I feel like we have that in common, but when stuff like this comes out,
skeptical guys.
Ho, ho, ho. Affirmations, manifesting. My knee jerk is to be like, I don't get it. I've never done it, or I don't do it normally. It doesn't make sense to me on paper, I guess. But then, if, like she said, try it.
And her process is different than other manifesting things that I've read and seen, because it starts with dealing with what's holding you back. The stories you told yourself from a kid that really gets you in a vicious cycle of not getting anywhere or getting what you want in life. And so first getting over the negative, so then you can add in the positive was different.
Yeah. Identifying what's going on in your life, what caused the driving factors in your life, dealing with that first. Imagine that.
Right. And when she talks about trauma, I was expecting it to be like, okay, abuse or something really bad in your past that's going to hold you back from your future. But it could even just be, something your dad said that then made you self-conscious. 50 years later, your whole life, you've been thinking about that thing. So it's not so super traumatic. It could just be something that really shaped you and then is holding you back. And once you get over that, then you can start really bringing in the positive.
Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Hi, Jaime. Welcome.
Hi. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, we're so glad to have you. We've never had a surgeon on before. Okay, well, that's an interesting name, but not necessarily what the fitheads are thinking when I say surgeon. So give us just a little background upon you.
Okay, so the turning point was when I turned 40. And all the
40? 40. 22 right now? That's
oh my God. I love you. I worship you. No, no, I'm actually 53 right now.
Okay. Forget talking about soul surgeon. What is your morning routine?
Let's jump right in. Skincare.
Okay. So I actually do have a very vast repertoire of morning and evening, obviously. Right. You really want to know? Okay. So,
I mean, sure. You get a midday one too. It seems like maybe three.
So I, an ex-boyfriend used to call me lotions and potions because I was like determined to find the fix for things, right? Between my frizzy hair, the wrinkles, the dry skin, whatever it was. Like I'm willing to try anything once. If it's going to work. So I've kind of distilled it down to this is what I am doing right now. So I actually use this product called Skinny Fit. I don't know if you've heard of it. Skinny Fit. So it's like a collagen, powdered like collagen and all these nutrients and stuff in a powder that I mix with water and stuff. And so I drink that every day. I think that that's also helping, honestly, with my joints and my skin and whatever. So that's one. Two is I use a bunch of different things. Okay, let's see. So I use this thing called bio oil. You can actually get it on Amazon. I think it's like $14. I don't know, since inflation might have gone up a little bit, but scary thing that's going on right now. But anyway, bio oil. I had actually gotten it for my stretch marks after having a baby at 45, by the way. And so another one of my miracles, but I use it on my face. Like I rub it all over my face.
Is this off label? They say that, or do they say on the brand that you should put it on your face?
No, it doesn't say that. I just was like, oh, it gets rid of marks. It makes your skin, it penetrates like into your skin and like helps. So I'm like, like I said, I'll try anything once. So I was like, so I use that actually in the morning and at night. And I'm telling you, I feel like it's made my skin much more supple and shiny and soft. So I love that. Like, that's just like kind of like the moisturizer and everything at night.
Yeah,
so I just use that. And then I'm drinking this collagen stuff. And then at night, well, the night routine is a whole thing. So I use the bio oil, but I also have this special stuff. It's like eye serum. Now I've tried like 50 eye serums, but this special one like is a regenerative in penetrating the skin and building up more collagen in your face. So I use that. I don't have the name of it right now, but I can always text it to you or email you later.
I love it. We'll put it in the show notes. The best of 50. It's clearly pretty good. Do you have just an eye serum channel on YouTube that we didn't know about? 50 episodes.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I've tried so many different things. Those are like the winners right now. Mm-hmm. It's like, and like on occasion, I'll put aloe vera on my skin. Oh, I'm sorry. And then one more thing. I actually use L'Oreal Sublime tanning lotion as like a base on my face, so I don't have to wear any foundation or whatever. So after the oil dries, then I put this L'Oreal Sublime. It gives me a little glow.
Love it.
All right, that's it.
Okay. And during this routine, what is the mental process going on? Are you Zen? Are you just trying to get out the door? Do you use this time for self-care?
So, well, this is after I've done my whole entire morning routine. This is after the shower. So I could talk about my morning routine because I'm very serious about a morning routine. But I just want to say when I am putting all this stuff on, I am very happy. Like I feel positive about it. Like I'm putting it on and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to take care of my skin. And I'm looking younger and younger all the time. So just FYI, but okay. So my morning routine consists of, before I even get out of bed, really, because, if you guys have read anything about what I do, the thinking is just like how we start our day is how we create our day. And our thinking is very powerful on making it go one way or the other. And so before I even get out of bed, because sometimes I can wake up with anxiety, I'm taking deep breaths and I'm like, it's going to be a great day. I'm so excited for all the blessings, miracles, and possibilities that are coming in today. And then I say, and God, please show me how to be of service to you and all your children. And then I can get out of bed.
You feel that make a transformation for you? Yes,
I do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where's your phone?
Oh, no, I'm not on the phone. No, no. I mean, I need a lot of time to just kind of connect, really, because the phone is obviously a distraction and then leads you in a different way. So then once I get out of bed I have my phone with me but I don't get on it. Mm-hmm. I get onto my computer actually, and I do meditations. Oh. So I sit here at my desk with you guys, put my headset on because I have a 7-year-old, and then I start doing before he gets up. So we're talking like 5:15. I'm up.
That's when I go to bed.
Oh my God. Are you in your 20s? That's why you're going to bed at that time.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
I don't moisturize, so I'm definitely older than I look.
That's not true. You look 20. Okay. But anyway, okay. So, and then I get on my computer and I like plug myself in and I start listening to an assorted sundry of different meditations to kind of just connect, clear my mind, focus, breathe. Like I have a breathing sound bath when I do. So
these are guided or unguided?
Guided. Uh-huh. I love the guided ones, just to kind of rein my brain in. Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you don't do the same one every time. I'm very much like a habit person. I would probably just pick one, but you like a variety.
So no, I do usually do the same ones unless there's something else I want to bring in for the day, but I do like 2 to 3.
Okay.
Because I'm really trying to hone it in. And then I stop and I just shut everything down for like 5 minutes. I get quiet. I put my hands on my heart and I just do some deep breathing, kind of try to tap in before we go off to the races with the dogs and my kid and the shower and the school and the food. So there you go. Yeah.
All before I'm even conscious. That's impressive.
Oh, I'm sorry. And then when I'm done with that, I work out. So I do videos at 6 o'clock. I do some videos in the living room. And then my son wakes up and then I feed the dogs and walk the dogs. So like, I'm literally like half my day is done by like 6:40. No, like I am making sure I'm in the zone. Yeah.
And then back in bed by 9 a.m. Do it all again.
I wish. Yeah.
You're making me want to get up earlier. What the heck? You and who is it? Mark Wahlberg. That you guys just live a whole day before anybody has breakfast.
Yeah, it's really nice. Like when it's just kind of quiet everywhere, you know. At like 6:40, I take the dogs for a walk. I take a run with the dogs, and I'm out there kind of praying and talking to the universe and doing some mantras while I'm running with the dogs too. So I'm really serious about this stuff.
Yeah, and sun exposure at that hour too really helps your circadian rhythm, man. Convincing me that I need to think harder about the morning. And the fact that you have your phone and don't look at it is so much more impressive than just completely not allowing it even a possibility and having it in a different room.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the biggest thing that I struggle with is my phone's right next to my bed, you know, for emergencies. Like, and so that emergency could be like, oh, there's a fire, or the emergency is like, oh, I need to check my fantasy football scores at 7 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? And so that to me is always the biggest hurdle, is if I can not get on my phone immediately after I wake up. And also if I'm not holding it, you know, an inch and a half from my nose. That's a tough one for me.
Well, so, you know, because a lot of my clients actually like, you know, social media and the phone are like a form of checking out, right? So it's like a way out of self to not be with self. So I feel like, you know, I really want to devote the time in the morning, like to myself, because once we go here, right, it's like all bets are off because now we're directed by whatever we're taking in, as opposed to us directing our day, us directing our focus, right? So it's like, I like to get focused first and then I get on, but I don't do that because I really want to start off with my own energy, my own focus first, right?
Yeah. The difference of being proactive or reactive, right? I feel like I'm just at the mercy of whatever emails I got versus choosing what my day will be.
Yes. So I'm going to challenge you guys to do that. To try for like a week. Okay, 2 days.
My problem is my alarm clock is on my phone.
Yeah, mine too.
Your problem is you can't pay $7 on Amazon for an alarm clock.
Well, it's the 8 sleep.
So mine is two. Mine is two, though. I just shut it off and then I just move on.
Maybe I'll invest in a better case, right? And then I can just turn my alarm clock off and just throw my phone across the room. Yeah, that's a good idea. That'll be my new morning routine. Let me write that down.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well.
But no, let's, you know, let's back up. Give yourself a little background on who you are and what you do. And because I think, you know, we're excited to talk to you, but maybe the listeners.
Okay, so we'll go back to 40.
Sure.
So 40 is where the real beginning starts. And so this is after PS. I've been like a lifetime of therapy. I'm actually sober in program. So I had like almost 10 years sober at this point and done a lot of work in program.
Nice.
Done psychics, healers, self-help books, blah, blah, blah. And here I am still like 2 days before my 40th birthday, ending another like unhealthy, abusive relationship. I'm in like in an unhealthy, abusive work environment. And like my friendships were just kind of unfulfilling. So I was like,
sounds great. Sounds totally normal.
So I'm like, wow, something's really wrong. Something's really wrong. Like something is really not working here. And so what happened was that I was like, either I can be done here because like I cannot live like any longer like this. This is just depressing and like unfruitful. Or I'm gonna have to find the solution. I'm gonna find this because this can't be it. This can't be all there is for me. Like I'm gonna just be old and alone and in unfulfilling abusive relationships for the rest of my life. So it was like a voice kind of came in and was like, you have to go deeper. And I was like, deeper? Like what? Like I haven't done enough already? And I was like, what does that even mean? And so, you know, I spent like the next 2 years going deeper. And really like tapping into some divine guidance, trying a bunch of different other things, which I interpreted and understood and found a different methodology type of from it. And so what happened is after like 2 years, I found the solution. It's like, and then my life like began to like totally change, like, but it started from the inside. Like the inside was very, very different. And then the outside started showing up very differently. And I brought in my soulmate. And at 44, I got married for the first time. At 45, I got pregnant by surprise when they told me I wasn't going to. And then it was like, and then on and on and on, all this amazing stuff happened, right? Where people were like, everyone around me was like, what did you do? Like, what is going on? And enough people were asking me that I was like, oh, it's not that simple. It's not like my face routine, right? It's not that simple where I can just say, do this and this, and then you're done.
Which your face routine is not simple, but yeah, go on.
Okay. So, and so I literally went home, sat down and like wrote the workbook. I wrote out my method. Like I just sat down in 2 days and because I know what I did. And I came up with a workbook. So I have a method. I have a process, which has been more and more refined, obviously, as time has gone on. And now it's down to a science. But, and then from that moment, literally one person came and then they've been coming ever since. Like I haven't marketed. People have just been coming based on the results they see in someone else.
Oh, wow.
Wow. So just word of mouth. And
Yes.
just the first person after you had it all on paper, then also worked for them. Wow.
So that's kind of my story. Yeah, that's where I'm at. So I get to go and help the world now heal from the inside.
Now, when you say I have to go deeper, what is that? What does that mean?
Okay. So what my method focuses on that I realized I wasn't getting, and the deeper is really into the core programming. So like back to mom and dad, back to childhood, like really, I go back to the pain. So finding the pain, but not to go back there and be like, oh, let's talk about it forever. Like therapy, it's not therapy. I just have to go back and find the thinking and behaviors that were created from a certain experience, from a certain pain, from a certain wound, from a certain program, right? What you created on your own of your own thinking and behaviors, because actually that is still directing the ship today. Like that is still driving you today. And I can show you through my method, like exactly what you're thinking, exactly what you're doing. And then we can reprogram and undo this whole thing and change your life, like layer by layer. So going deeper is going back to these experiences, which could be an experience. It could be something someone said. It could be a pain, a wounding, or whatever it is, to going back to these core things so that we can find the truth so that you can heal and change.
And how common is it for people to have this, core problem, this trauma from the past that holds them back?
Very. I mean, so I feel like, right. Well, no, I don't know if we're all screwed up. I feel like, some people have it deeper than others. Like some people are definitely more traumatized and affected than others. But I'm telling you, like some of my clients have just like something that their mother said or something that their father had said to them, which they have held on to. Like for 40, 50 years, 60 years, even. I have clients in 60 years, and like made that their story and have been running their lives based on this fear, based on this pain, based on this certain story about themselves. So I feel like it could be deep, 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 or some people may just have something. But if because I believe that the positive stories patterning keep us getting what we want, but the negative ones are actually keeping us from what we want. And most of the time they're so subconscious, we don't even know what we're doing that's sabotaging ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not active self-sabotage, it's unconscious.
Yes.
And you also talk about helping people figure out what they want in life. Like, how common is it that we're all misguided too, and we don't even realize what our goals are and what we want to achieve?
So I can't speak for everybody. I'm not going to do a blanket statement, but I know that the people that come to me are definitely in a state of, not feeling good enough in some area about themselves. Like they don't love themselves. They have that missing piece to the self-love. They don't feel good enough and they feel unfulfilled. So that piece means there's something missing, right? From like your path, from finding your way. So I help people find their true connection and calling. But it's by removing these stories that in the end, they weren't even yours to begin with. So we can take away like mom's ideas, dad's ideas, siblings' ideas, little kids' ideas or beliefs. We take all that away, then we're left with you. Then if we can get to the core of you and tap into like what really lights you up, like what brings you joy, what makes your soul sing, like that's the path. That's the path.
I mean, I can't imagine anyone that I know that is fully loving themselves and fulfilled. So not to make a blanket statement.
Okay. I just wanted to, be kind, but I mean, right. So, there is a solution, right? There is a solution, and my method is multifaceted. So it's like, what I found is that, it's not just one thing that's going to fix the problem. Like we all just want like this magic thing to fix the thing and be done and move on. Right. And it's like, I tried that in pieces. And so what I found, like, it's actually a combination of many things when done all together, create the secret sauce. But like you have to do them all together. So once again, my method is like you have to have a routine. Obviously, I'm very big on routine. So we have a routine because once again, especially I deal a lot with negative thinking. A lot of my clients have negative thinking and are people pleasers and don't feel good about themselves. So have negative stories about themselves. So it's like all of that thinking creates a pattern of thinking, which is an affirmation. Like you're telling yourself negative affirmations every day, all day long about yourself and the world. So it's like you keep affirming to the universe this negative stuff, right? And so to undo that, you have to commit to now doing positive affirmations and positive things so that you can rewire your brain. So yeah, a long answer to the question you said.
Well, can you talk about people pleasing a lot? Because I know I've seen some of you've talked about that before, about how it's sort of a unrealized negative thing. People pleasing, and the name sounds good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For the other person, sure.
Yeah, sounds great for them.
Not so good for you. So, people pleasing is a problem. And when, the core of it comes from like not getting the love. Really, the core of it's not getting your needs met as a kid, not getting the love, not getting your needs met, and having to do, and say certain things in order to get the approval. I don't even know, like a lot of my clients didn't necessarily get the love, but they got the approval momentarily, right? For behaving, saying, doing in a certain way to make mom or dad happy, right? And so doing it long enough, once again, we create a way of being, right? That I do this, I get the approval, I get the validation, and, that equals love. But ultimately, when we grow up and continue doing this, what happens is that it's a really disservice to yourself. It's a real turning against yourself, because they say, people never get pleased. You people please and people never get pleased, so it's like you're in a perpetual state of like chasing your tail. Like you keep trying to please and they're never pleased. So you keep trying to please more. And then they just want more and more and more. Right. So it's like the insanity is that, you keep going down the same road, expecting a different result. But ultimately, and this is the big piece I tell my clients, if you are people pleasing, you are lying. You are being dishonest. People pleasing is lying, because you are not being honest with yourself or the other person, right? Oh, you guys look perplexed with that one. Do you understand that one? Do you want to stop for a minute and have a conversation? I see both your faces are like, what?
I mean, yeah, it's an interesting way of twisting it in my brain. Like, wait a minute. Okay, so people pleasers, what, they don't really want to be doing that. They want some sort of they want the result, but they don't actually want to do the thing that would please the other.
No, this is so good question. Okay. So when we're people pleasing, we forget about ourselves. We negate ourselves. We negate our wants and needs, right? And we're so focused on the other person to get that validation, to get liked, to get loved, right? That we're willing to do whatever they want, but we're not taking care of ourselves. We're negating our wants and needs. So what happens is that you're doing things that you don't actually want to do. You're saying things that you don't actually necessarily believe sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you're acting in a way that is not honoring yourself and not honoring your truth. So that's lying, or I'll go gentle, being dishonest. Okay. So, right. Do you understand what I'm saying? But this is like the next further thing that I like to explain. If you guys want me to keep going, do you want me to keep going? Okay, great. So what happens is that with the other person, that energy of like trying to figure out what they want, what they need, what are you going to say and do to like get the validation. If we're all energy, and energy begets energy, right? So that if we're like this, trying to figure it out and just saying things that we don't really mean or whatever it is, that creates an unsafe energy that makes you feel unsafe. And so the other person receives it in a way where they don't feel safe. So then they become unsafe. And then your need to people please because you want to feel safe kicks in, and then you're more trying to figure out how to people please. So once again, it perpetuates the problem, right? So it's like being a people pleaser has a multitude of like problems because you never end up getting what you want and need. Your needs are never taken care of, and you're actually never heard and seen because you're not being who you are. So, and right. And then when we take it to like dating, because I work with a lot of men also, when we take it to dating, like if they're people pleasing, like the women feel like, ugh, like what? They don't know what it is, but it feels like not safe and like weird and uncomfortable and like whatever it is. Right. And so they don't know what it is, but that energy is a deterrent. People pleasing is a deterrent. Unless you're dealing with a controlling, manipulative person that just wants to dominate, right? Then it really works for them because they don't care about how you feel.
I just got an idea for a new app. It's Tinder to match up people pleasers with sociopaths, and they'll just be perfect together.
That's awesome. That's exactly rich. Right?
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, it's true. When someone's like really too giving, or you can tell that you're sort of, it's so easy to take advantage of them. It feels like what do they really want? Who really are they? Or yeah, it feels not genuine.
Well, yeah. It's like, oh, what do you want? What do you want? What do you like? Oh, I'll do whatever you want. It makes you, it feels like, once again, unless you're a sociopath, controlling, domineering person, it feels like, ew. Like, why does this person doesn't like, has no backbone, has no strength, has no knowing of self, like does not have it going on. Like they're just not strong. They're like wishy-washy. Wishy-washy is like not appealing, right?
Sure.
It feels like,
well, I don't know.
Right?
Wow.
But it's like it carries into business, it carries into all friendships, it carries into dating, like it carries into everything. And then it's like you want to know why, or my clients at least want to know why they're like in all these unfulfilling relationships, not ever being heard or seen and not getting their needs met. And I say it begins and ends with you. You're not being honest. And so until you can get honest and authentic, you're never going to line up with the right people and situations because you keep bringing in this stuff, right? So like it really begins with learning how to be authentic and honest and telling the truth, because I call that like your magnet and your protection. Your authenticity is actually your magnet and your protection, because whoever doesn't like who you really are will go. And that is like a gift. Thank you, God, for removing. Thank you, God. Remove that.
I know telling that to a people pleaser it's tough to get through. But yeah, when you make that shift, probably when I hit 40, I'll realize that everyone doesn't have to like me. But until then, I'll keep making YouTube videos.
Yeah. You're about to bring the entire entertainment industry like just crumbling down.
Yeah. But the idea of drawing to you and repelling the people that you don't need is really interesting.
Yes. So that's like stuff we really work on. But it's all part of that core programming again. Because if we don't, I could just give you actions to do, right? Which can be top line stuff. You could just start doing it. But if in the core, your core programming is still like, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I have to be liked, people have to like me. And wherever that came from, if we don't go back and get that, you still will eventually end up back there because you haven't dealt with the root cause.
So have you found that people that are still following this idea of manifesting and really speaking positive things, if they haven't addressed that core, it's not going to help?
So let's talk about that, because, my whole program is about manifesting, but the first half is the healing. So we're manifesting healing and change. And then we'll manifest the dreams because, I believe that if you're in a state of woundedness, you will continue to bring in people and situations to take you back to the wound. So you can manifest and bring things in, but ultimately in the end, you will still end up in the back in the core pain and the core end result that you don't want because you haven't resolved it. So, because I brought in a lot of stuff, and the more work I did on myself, I was manifesting more things I wanted, but then, or looked like what I wanted, right? And then after time, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm back here again, a different name and a different face, but here I am again. Right? So yeah, we can manifest, but if that core wound, core programming isn't shifted, you will continue to go back and I'll take it a step further, which you guys may like or not like here, but I really feel like it's, our soul's evolution, right? We're here to evolve and grow. So it's like those things that the core wounding, core programming is our gift to really evolve ourselves into align into a higher place of being so that we can fulfill more of our purpose.
So the challenges really are a positive thing?
Yes.
Huh.
Doesn't feel that way when you're in it, though, I'll tell you.
Nope.
None of my clients are like, yay, this is so fun. Please.
Let me evolve.
Let me evolve. But I really believe that's so, because we all have different ones to face, right? We all have different pains and wounds and experiences to face. And so until we walk through it, which I actually this morning, my first sessions were you have to do the new thinking and new behaviors and walk through the situation and deal with it in this new way. Otherwise, you're still stuck in the loop. You haven't ended the pattern.
When you're talking about evolution, I've seen you mention intergenerational trauma. I don't think I know what that is, or maybe I'm thinking I know what it is and it's wrong. So can you talk a little about that?
So I feel like, we carry a lot of the stories that we're told from our family, from could be mom and dad, could be the whole family, whatever race, religion, whatever we are, we all have our own stories. So it's all these different, and I call them stories because it's passed down, right? We didn't get to formulate our own idea. We didn't get to have our own experience and formulate our own idea. These program stories were, put upon us and told over and over again until, it becomes our belief system. I mean, I don't know about you, but I definitely had a lot of them from my parents and from, my society or whatever it is. And then we take that out into the world. So if you tell something over and over long enough, it becomes a belief, and the belief becomes a way of being, right? That becomes ours. So then we make it ours. And that is not just the intergenerational, stuff, but everything, right? I have a 7-year-old son, and I tell him, I want you to have your own experience. We're going to the dentist, and he's getting spacers, right? And my husband was like, it's going to hurt. It's going to be so painful. It's going to be awful. Right. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Don't tell him that. And he said to me, well, Daddy said blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, honey, that may have been his experience, but that doesn't have to be yours. We actually don't know what's going to happen. And we're going to go in and let you decide for yourself, have your own experience. Right. And I kind of try and have that platform with him with everything. Because I studied a lot of mindful parenting also, which is otherwise I'm flinging my stuff onto him, and then I'm forcing him to have my experience, my belief. And I want him to formulate that own. So it's so I feel that's the stuff we're undoing with my work.
Yeah, it feels like I have to put my phone away in the morning because I'm not just healing myself. I'm healing what my great grandma passed to my grandma, passed to my mom, passed to me. I have a mission.
Yes.
Ugh. Wow.
But it's true. But it is true, right? It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I mean, I guess what we want as a human race is to improve not just ourselves, but all of us humans getting better as we go forward.
Yes, I agree with that.
But what if it is going to hurt? What if, you know what I mean? From your husband's perspective, I mean, he's warning someone about potential physical pain.
Okay.
Isn't that?
No, it's not good.
It's not good.
No, because check it out. Ready? So what happened was, P.S. because I didn't fling my fears and hate about the dentist to my son, because I really dislike the dentist, by the way. I've had terrible. No, but I have terrible experiences from the dentist, right? And so, but she would give me anxiety, like the whole thing going or whatever it is. And so I didn't say anything to him. And I was just like, all right, so we go. They put him in. He loves the dentist, by the way. He loves getting his teeth cleaned. Like he loves the sucky thing. Like he begs every time, do me the sucky thing. And I was like, it's insane, right? So like he's totally into the dentist. And when we went, he didn't have any pain when he got him in. It wasn't until 12 hours later that, obviously it hurt, but it wasn't like the initial, like, now he's going to be terrified of the dentist. Anything that happens is going to be painful and he's going to be in pain, because the pain only lasted like a day. And then he's like back to fine again. But like, if I kept telling, oh, it's going to be so painful and bad and it's going to hurt forever and blah. Yeah. Then guess what? We couldn't have moved through this and on, Thoughts?
I feel like when I'm warned about something that's going to be bad, I find it easier to handle that bad stuff. And I feel like, oh, yeah, this sucks, but this is just how it goes. And everybody goes through this. And mine's pretty bad. It's not as bad as that guy said his was, but it's better than hers and stuff like that. So I don't know. I guess if I was going to the dentist and my teeth hurt, I'd be like, wow, is this weird? My mom said she loves the dentist and this has never happened to her. And she's a dentist. You know what I mean? Or I would feel nervous that I was the only one. And then I probably wouldn't say anything because I'd be like, wow, everybody else loves the dentist and my teeth are killing me right now. I must be the weird one. I better shut up because I don't want people to think I'm a weirdo.
Okay, so we'll stay on this conversation for a minute. So I hear what you're saying. I understand what you're saying totally. So I didn't tell my son I love the dentist. I didn't tell him I hated the dentist. I just said we're going to the dentist. So I kind of left it, open-ended. And like, he just really enjoyed himself. And I said, and in the other room, there's kids crying, you know what I mean? At the dentist. So he's laying in the chair and like this little kid screaming at the top of their lungs. Right. And so what I said to him, I said,
those are happy screams. Happy screams.
No, it was definitely not. And, and I said to him, I said, some people are afraid. And I said, and you're not. And some people don't like it here and you do. So like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like you have a different experience, but you can have your own experience. I keep wanting to urge the point of having your own experience. Yeah. So that leaves more of an open, free kind of feeling, right? To like explore, more of an exploration. Mm-hmm. And a discovering as opposed to a pervoding doom. Right?
Also, for the record, I love my dentist. My dentist was my uncle. His name is Dr. Fang. He is the best dentist of all time. So just shout out to all those
Uncle
dentists. Dr. Fang, Uncle Dr. Fang, yeah. Dresses up as a vampire every Halloween, obviously.
That's so funny.
That's amazing.
He was fantastic.
Max, I recently got my first mammogram, I have a family history. I had to go. And one of my good friends was like, oh man, it hurts. Get ready for this. And so I spent a week with anxiety about getting my boobs smashed. Let me tell you, I was not happy about this. And I didn't even drink coffee that morning because I heard that makes it hurt more. So I go into this afternoon appointment with no caffeine. I'm already in a terrible mood and terrified. Mm-hmm. It didn't hurt at all, like nothing. It's, probably because I have pecs instead of boobs, whatever. And I was so mad that I spent that entire week being stressed about it. And I didn't have coffee that day. And had it hurt, I still would have wasted that week being stressed about it.
That's right.
Either way, I mean, I guess we're wired a little differently because you would have handled it better. But myself, I handled it much worse, knowing the incoming doom to my boobs.
That's exactly right. But that's what I'm saying to you. Like, it could be anybody. It doesn't have to just be mom or dad. It could be your friends, like as little kids, things they say, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you take it on and look, you wasted a week of energy focusing on the pain, the provoking doom.
Also, placebo, I feel like I can convince myself stuff hurt. That's also why the doctor, whenever you're getting stitches or something, they'll say, oh, you're going to feel a little pressure. And I'm like, did you mean pain? You said pressure, but you meant pain. But they're fooling me because I'm like, oh yeah, that was pressure. I'm probably fine.
They don't teach vocabulary in medical school.
Yeah, pressure feels softer. But so, I don't know what's right or wrong. Like, I'm not here to say what's right or wrong. I'm just saying that, like, from both of your, experiences, it's like, if we just went in and say, I'm just going to have a new experience, or I'm going to be open to my own experience, kind of changes everything, right? Like, because when people tell me things are not going to work out, oh boy, I'm like, damn, if I'm going to listen to you.
I like that.
I'm like, yeah, that's your idea. Thank you for sharing. However, I see it differently. And then I go off into like possibility, you know what I mean? Like being open to possibility, being open to something different.
I like the idea too of taking the outside sensory information and, deciding how you feel about it versus the other way around. You're already really internal and only thinking inward versus really experiencing the outward.
Yes. Because, all we really have is right now in the present. If we're like worrying, we're in the future or we're in the past. So we're missing out on now. And right, they say what the gift is in the present. The present is the gift. So it's like, as much as we can to try and get present, to be here now. Right.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who sees worrying as a form of analysis, decision making?
Exercise.
So I have a lot of clients in the worry category, anxiety and worry, and some of that is also negative thinking. I'll just say, right? So it's like a perpetuation of negative thinking. Once again, we'll take it back to what I said, which is negative affirmations. But okay. So, I feel like in trying to find the answer, like that's really what you're doing, right? You're trying to find an answer. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, the answers aren't going to come in your head in that state, right? Because if we're in a state of like anxiety, fear, worry, negativity, the only thing we're going to get is more anxiety, fear, worry, negativity, right? That's all. It just perpetuates the same problem. So it's like running on the hamster wheel, chasing your tail with all this stuff. So it's like, I have a solution for that. It's because when you get into that state, you're now not present. You're not present. You're in the past or in the future. Mm-hmm. You're trying to figure it out, what I call figure it out. And then you're missing all the information. So, one is the fastest way out of that is to take 3 deep breaths. So like if you just stop, like if you start getting into the thing and you're like, oh, and then you catch yourself, I have affirmations for this, which is like pause and take 3 deep breaths. But like here, do it with me. Ready? Let's just take a really big deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. Ready? So when we do that, we actually change the neurons in our brain. Like we get oxygen to the brain to stop the thing where we can make a different decision. You breathe out a little slower though too. But if you get oxygen there, you take the breath, the neurons shift, you can actually make a different decision. It also brings you back into your body, back into the present. When you take 3 of those, and then it's like, and then I tell my clients to like tap in, like staying in the problem is only creating more of a problem. So it's like, then I have them journal out these negative, anxious thoughts, like get it onto paper and get it out of your head. Because once again, if they're swirling in your head, there's no space to find an answer. Because the only answer is you have space, you not even space that you have is the negativity, whatever it is. So if you put it onto paper, it's actually a form of release.
But my negativity is so vague, and then I'd have to solidify it as something.
Sounds like you need to work on your writing.
Yeah. So that's actually part of the morning routine for my clients is journaling out the negativity, anxiety, and fears, like getting it onto the paper, like first thing in the morning, so that when you get it out, and then the trick turnaround is then write a statement or something that is the opposite positive to what you're telling yourself. Because we can't even get to a positive solution outcomes answer if you're so committed to the negativity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say the trick is don't go back and read those journals because they are rough. I've done that. Holy moly.
No, it's the turnaround. It's the turnaround. It's the turnaround because now we have space for possibility. If you want to stay committed to the negativity, worry, and anxiety, that's all you're going to get. Like you can't get to a positive solution. You have to create the space for it.
Yeah, to allow yourself to imagine getting over the problem that you're ruminating about. I don't think I ever do that. I just think about the problem, never just going, okay, so what if I absolutely bust through this thing that I'm trying to deal with? What is that like?
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite sayings that I have my clients do, there's a recording by Abraham Hicks, which we love, but it says, everything's working out. Everything is always working out. Even when it seems like it isn't, it always is. And so I say, just say that. Like things are always working out and I don't know how, but I know that it is. Like that's like an easier shift. And, or, you can just say, today I'm going to choose to believe in possibility. Right now, I'm going to choose to believe in possibility. Like both of those or any of those statements are real shifting out of the commitment to the negativity, fear, and anxiety, right? It's a more of like, oh, it feels like you're stepping onto a whole different path, right? Today, I'm going to choose to believe in possibility. Anything's possible if I think it is. You know what I mean? Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like I don't have that outlook in a lot of things, but I do have that in specific things. I'll have that outlook for like a night out on the town.
There might be pizza.
Okay.
But expanding that, it's such a nice it's a powerful way, I guess, of changing my night. So I'm wondering if it will work for the rest of the other areas of my life.
Yeah. Yes, it will. And sometimes it's better to not be as specific because if it gets specific, we're like narrowing the room for universe to get in, right? So if we get more specific, but and then also narrowing our minds imagination of what could happen, right? But if we open up to like, there's infinite possibilities in the universe, anything could happen. Good things always happen for me, right? Then we're going into like, oh, now we're in like the cosmic spectrum of possibility here.
It's like a reverse monkey's paw. Do you know what that is?
No, what is that?
A monkey paw it's like a storytelling thing. It's a type of storytelling. It's kind of science fiction-y, but you see a dismembered monkey paw and you make a wish and a finger curls down and whatever you wish for comes true, but it's this horrible twist of the wish. So you're like, you know, I wish for a cat, and then the thing comes down and you get a cat, but it's this like horrible feral cat, and the cat scratches your eyeballs out or something horrible like that. You know, it's like Tales from the Crypt type horrible stuff.
Oh my gosh!
So, but you're working on the opposite of that.
Big time.
Yeah, big time.
So, you know, for people who are so committed to the negative, which all my clients that come in they're really committed. They're brought up in negativity, like brought up in skewed vision of things. So it's like really committed to it. You know, we have to take little steps to kind of open up the doorway, but like have to commit to like getting into a whole different groove. And like, yeah.
Yeah. How do you deal with like ultra skeptics or, I mean, I guess I guess I don't really know. Have you had any clients that started out as like, affirmations, manifesting, that's junk. That's voodoo. I don't believe. Like, how do you win them over?
Oh, I have a lot of them. I have a lot of those clients. Like, what is this? Blah, blah, blah. And I just say, well, has what you're doing worked for you? Has your way worked? Because if it does, keep going. Like, that's fine with me. You know what I mean? Like if it hasn't worked, then something has to change. And like what we're doing here is proven to work. So like I say, just try and prove me wrong. That's what I say. Try and prove me wrong. 30 days, commit to the process, prove me wrong. Nobody's been able to do that yet.
Ooh. I love that.
Right? But I give them the option to still stay committed to their story.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, I can't make you do anything, but I'm letting you know that like this ain't working.
So the process works even if you're skeptical.
Yes. If you commit to it and do it every day, yes. Yes. It just takes you because you're reprogramming. You're changing everything. You don't have to believe.
It's different from what I've heard other people speak about manifesting, where they act as though it needs to be the complete core of you committing fully, and that any sort of voice in the back of your head going, is this really a thing, will destroy your ability to manifest.
So, okay, yes. So first of all, we're talking about like moving into the healing process when they start with me. I mean, most people are very skeptical. They're committed to the negativity. They're committed to their old stories. They've been doing something a certain way. Most of them have done a lot of work on themselves, and like, they're still not getting what they want. Like me at 40, right? Same thing. So it's like, I just say, are you willing to do it differently? Because what you're doing isn't getting you what you want. Right. So like they don't have to believe right then. And like I said, it starts to just change you anyway. But, you know, and moving further into like the manifesting dreams. So, yeah, I mean, none of us that I know of, because we're all human, are like fully committed 24/7 every day to the positivity and like belief in knowing that everything's going to turn out well for them. That's, I don't know, prove me wrong, somebody, but like, as far as I know, as long as I've been doing this, it's just, within myself also, it just isn't true, right? It feels virtually impossible because things happen in life, in the world. Like my kid will do something like talk back, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, oh, I'm totally off my center, right? I'm not doing that. No, blah, 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 right? And then, like, whatever. And I'm like, messes up my mojo. But anyway, it's like, if you're committed, if you are in your heart, truly desiring what you want to desire, what you want to bring in, right? Then the universe already knows. Like, I have my clients do like written visions, and we do vision boarding, and you can really feel that it's the universe already knows, God already knows what it is you want. So it's not like it's not going to come. But what happens is that within the fragmented pieces of what's happening inside of you, that may bring in situations that are going to tap into your fears, right? So it's like the thing may be over here, but you're going to have to face something because that was the fear that you brought in. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't mean that it's not coming. It just means that like the resistance within self will bring in something to create resistance in real time. Does that make sense? But if you've been like visioning it for long enough, it's there. It's there. It's like coming. It's just that you have to clean some stuff up within yourself. Because, you can't just be happy, positive, and focused on your dream all day long. That's just not realistic. It's like you have to be in the joy. You have to be that which you are calling in, which means you have to get present, right? I tell my clients the biggest thing that they have the hardest time doing is like doing things that bring them joy. Like joy, fun, and happy. Like, it's like, that seems to be like torture for them. It's like, but that's the magnet. So, because all those things are the vibration of the higher things you're calling in. So it's being in that vibration, if that makes sense, is how I understand it.
Max, do you have a vision board?
No, but Brittany does. It's around here somewhere. I
love vision boards.
I mean, I get the idea of, you're, I guess if I'm understanding it correctly, it's that these good things are coming to you, but the energy that you're causing sort of blocks them from getting in, and you get in your own way.
Yes. And once again, that could also go back to the core programming. Like if the fear is, I'm just never going to get what I want, even though I really want this so badly, I'm just never going to get it. It's not going to happen for me, right? That's a big story of my clients. So that
or feeling like you don't deserve it.
Exactly. So it's like, once again, it doesn't mean it's not coming. It just means there's some things to be worked out or worked on. Mm-hmm. But
the idea of the universe knows what you want. That's interesting. I've never heard that before.
Well, and then I also say, the desire that's placed in your heart was put there by God in order to fulfill it. So it's like, because all of us have different desires. Like none of us have the same ones. We just don't. That's part of our life's journey here, is to get these things, is to be these things, to have, be, and do these things. So it's like, it's just that we have to clear away the stuff that's keeping us from aligning with it.
Yeah. So achieving what you want is a part of your story, and the highest level of you, it's what you're supposed to do, not what you should feel guilty about trying to achieve. Huh.
Yes. Because
there's
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, because once again, like, it's like then you become the light and the hope, right? It's like the light and the hope. And then you can help more people just by being, right? That people believe it's possible. Then it's possible for them too. That was the same thing that happened with me. I was like, I wasn't doing it like for, I was doing it for selfish reasons, right? Because I wanted to like change my life. But like what happened, the gift was that, I got to get this divine, solution, and I get to share and help other people because that's my job now, is to help others free themselves and experience, their highest calling or whatever it is. So it's like by achieving and succeeding, you're helping everybody. You're helping everybody. Yeah. Because you're showing people what's possible.
Yeah. And your highest level of self specifically is about helping other people too, which is double whammy. Good for you.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. Thanks.
There's this meme going around now about being, this person thinks they're the lead character or whatever. I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know, how do you describe it? Where someone will do something absurd and you frame that as, oh, right, they are living their own life and experiencing everything else as the center of their experience. And so they're living their story and feel like they're the protagonist of this book. It's all about them. And it's sometimes used in a negative way, but I feel like it's also used positively, where it's like, yeah, this is your story and you're going through some garbage, but it's a part of the story, or you're having a great day. And that's because you do deserve it. You're the one everyone's reading about, if that makes sense.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. And I understand the negative connotation and the positive connotation of it. The way I feel about the concept of what you're saying, I'll say, is that, I feel like once again, as I said, I started off for selfish reasons because I was just like, this sucks. My life sucks. I hate life. I want to die. And like, I'm going to get what I came here for. Right. So, but what happened was in the, removing of all this stuff and doing this and getting to help people now, I realized that it's like, I have no idea what every day brings. I just don't know. I just know that like I asked to be of service for the day. And I also try and focus on, some of my dreams too, because, we always have more, right? But it's like, I just try and stay in a humble state of like, I'm just here to be of service, like, and work for God. Like, I don't even know what that means some days, like, but it's like, okay, be kind and loving is really part of it. Like, how can I be kind and loving today and compassionate, even when my son doesn't listen. So he's like the, the protagonist in my story. But anyway, I love him. So it's like, how do I just get to being of service is like really being kind and loving and compassionate today? Like, how can I shed some joy and light on somebody else today?
And open, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yes.
Open to possibility, or open to interpretation, or open to something you weren't expecting, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that. What a great button. How can the Total Fitheads find you and your process and what you do more online?
Okay, great. So I have a website. It's jaimebhaas.com, but my name is spelled, the tricky part, is Jaime, B as in boy, Haas, HAAS.com. If you go on there, I have a free download, which has the 5 habits to start. You have a great day. It's actually 5 habits to self-love and creating this, get rid of negativity and all that other stuff also, but we just named it 5 habits, but there you go. And, and I'm also on Instagram as Jaime B. Haas, Facebook is Jaime B. Haas, and YouTube is Jaime B. Haas. And all my content is to offer solution and help.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. You guys are great.
As are you. And thank you to the Fitheads. If you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts, that helps us out a whole lot. And we'll see you next week.